Happy New Year, everyone! We have made it to 2024, a year that brings the promise of at least new games, if nothing else. I have already been impressed by the number of games that I'm looking forward to coming out this year, and I'm sure some of you have just as many, if not more games that you are likewise hyped for. To start off the year then, I wanted to go through and tell you about some fantastic looking upcoming titles. While this list will unsurprisingly be mostly RPGs, you may see a couple games that break that trend, and I can't wait to hear what games you are looking forward to in 2024 as well. Just a note before we get started, this is just my own opinion and is not meant as a comprehensive list or anything. They are ranked in order of how excited I am for them. I just wanted to talk about these games that I'm looking forward to playing. So let's get hyped for 2024. Number 9, Visions of Mana. It's pretty easy to explain both why I'm excited for Visions of Mana and also why it's the game I'm least excited for of all the games in this video. First off, I'm excited for Visions of Mana because it looks gorgeous based on the one trailer we've seen so far. I played a game inspired by the Mana series last year in Trinity Trigger and enjoyed the experience, but felt that there could have been more refinement. Enter the Mana series itself. Square Enix has had literal decades to work on and perfect the Mana series action RPG formula, and I'm looking forward to checking out their work. That and checking another classic RPG series off the list of series I've never played a single game from. Someday I'll have crossed off all the other series and then I'll give Final Fantasy a try. In addition to fun-looking combat, we have multiple traversal methods in varied environments. It's hard to tell, but this could be a gorgeous open-world game that hopefully would have great exploration on top of everything else. The potential is there, and I'm ready to know more. That last bit, though, is why it's so low. I don't know much about this game because we've had one trailer that was only a minute and a half long. When we get more information, I can get more and more hyped, but right now, I'm mostly building off of the potential of what I imagine this game could be. Still excited, but other games coming out next year have shown me a little more so far. Number 8, Suikoden 1 and 2 Remastered. Speaking of classic RPG series, the Suikoden series is one that I knew at some point I would get to play. You can't dangle an immense, intricately written and realized world with fantastic storytelling and over 100 distinct characters in front of me and not make me look forward to playing a series. I did wait in part because the consoles Suikoden was on were not ones I owned or I was familiar with emulating, but apparently my procrastination paid off when this remastered collection of the first 2 games in the series was announced. I have many friends, content creators, and viewers who love these games, so I am more than looking forward to giving them a try when they finally come out. In fact, these are the games that get the most comparisons to the Trails series, which is always a way to make me hyped to play them. Suikoden 1 and 2, though, have several things that held me back from putting this release higher on the list. The first one is, of course, Konami, the company responsible for the remaster, who have been notoriously bad at releasing games and just generally operating a functioning company for years now. It's hard to judge since I never played the original, but the remaster also doesn't look amazing, and I've been burned recently with bad ports/remasters. Then we have the lack of information coming out about when the game is releasing, and footage from the remaster, and there's only so much I can go by other people's words that these games are great. I need to see with my own eyes some of the stuff to get me excited, and trailers and information have been hard to come by since the announcement. Literally, they had the announcement, and then the delay announcement, and that's been it. Hopefully that changes as we get nearer to release. In the meantime though, there may be a certain other game later on this list of a similar vein I can focus that energy on. Number 7, Princess Peach Showtime. The first non-RPG of the list is Princess Peach Showtime, an adventure game? I'm not honestly sure what genre this is supposed to fit into because, as the most recent trailer revealed, there is some variety in the gameplay. That is what pushed this into definitely interested from simply intrigued. I also can't resist the stage play setting given my theater background. We've already seen sword fighting, detective, patissiere, and Kung Fu Peach, plus a difference in gameplay style and outfit with each one. They also teased more, and this is just all setting up for a unique game with the Nintendo magic of fun. A more than worthy title for the Princess Peach herself, as it looks so far. Now, Daisy solo game when? That being said, much like our first 2 on this list, there's still so much we don't know that keeps the hype tempered at the moment. Plus, it's not exactly a style of game I'm all that familiar with, but maybe this is the gateway in, and at the moment, this is the one Nintendo game coming next year that has me really excited. Now if that Genealogy of the Holy War remake gets announced this year though, all bets are off. Princess Peach Showtime looks so good though and is coming soon, and we're going to see what other ways Peach will entertain us in this adventure. Number 6. Metaphor ReFantazio. Prior to the Game Awards and the developer interviews that came out not long after, this game was lower on the list, but that's just how things go. An entirely new IP from Atlus blending fantasy genre staples with some of the great elements of Persona and Shin Megami Tensei? Sign me up! Also, I didn't miss that combat with its similarities to Trails Through Daybreak, which I'll talk about more later on in the list. I do think we've reached a point with Metaphor ReFantazio where I have a good idea of what the systems are and how they'll work, which the previous games on this list have not had the chance to show me yet. I see lots of interesting choices in how to go about the crown contest, some exploration, and again a really unique setting that feels otherworldly in the ways Shin Megami Tensei can at times. The setting and feel of the world has me seriously intrigued, and I know Atlus and the quality of games they can produce. The last time I took a chance on an Atlus new IP was Radiant Historia, which is an absolute gem, so I'm more than ready to give this game a try when it comes out. All this being said, my main connection with games comes with characters and a story that draws me in, and as of right now, Metaphor ReFantazio still hasn't shown me much on that front. Doesn't mean that the game won't get there, but unsurprisingly, the games that are further up on the list are ones I either have a better idea of what they have to offer story and character-wise, or have certain other advantages. Speaking of, number 5, Hades 2. We know so little about Hades 2 even now. We have one trailer and an expectation of a Q2 2024 release. Thus, the reason why Hades 2 can get this high on the list is because it's a sequel to my favorite game of 2020 from Supergiant Games, a studio with all great games. Given the opportunity to improve and iterate on the already fantastic Hades system is a truly exciting possibility. Even if the game ends up at the same quality or even a little less, Hades 2 would be a more than worthy game to sink time into. That being said, even with the slight information we have, there's plenty to be excited about. A new color palette to highlight our different setting and characters, a chance to show off some of the many Greek mythological figures who didn't get a chance to shine in the original game, including the protagonist, who is a mythological figure that, like Zagreus, I knew little about before the Hades series, feels odd to say that, highlighted them. The gameplay footage is limited, but what's there has plenty of new enemies, new abilities, and variety to the familiar systems. I'm more than willing to take on the same gameplay loop with a whole new character, new abilities, new gods, and the like. Of course, the reason why Hades 2 can't be higher is because we still know very little about what the game is going to do differently, and when it is actually going to come. Plus, this 2024 release will be in early access, which can still lead to a fun game as we wait for the game to grow and develop, but does mean it is incomplete. All early access titles for me have the limitation of being unfinished even when they have plenty of content to start out with, and Hades 2 is not an exception. Number 4. Football Tactics and Glory World. The realm of sports games has not been at its best in recent years, but there was one game that was an exception for me and captured my attention for quite a bit. For those who have been here long enough, I played the original Football Tactics and Glory as a Let's Play and also gave my impressions on the 2 major expansions to the game. Football Tactics and Glory World is the sequel, and I'm ready to make my way back to the tactical turn-based football games and the emergent stories that come from that combination. The major selling point for the sequel is the world part of the name, as the game now has the World Cup and more differences between nations with regards to players. Couple this with the inclusion of all the improvements made by Football Stars and Manager's Journey, the 2 expansions to the original base game, and there is so much to offer for those interested in tactical sports goodness. On top of that, there are some smaller additions such as an actual coach profile and animations and a lone mechanic for the younger players. I spend a lot of time with the original Football Tactics and Glory, so you best believe I'm ready for June to dive back in and see the football action again. The reason this ranks above Hades 2 is because of the developer blogs and the continued drip of information coming from Creo Team that really keeps me excited as we get closer and closer to release. And that more specific time window also helps. As much as I am excited for Football Tactics and Glory World though, I can say that I know most of what to expect from the game, which can't exactly be said about the next few games. I think if this release had also been the one to finally add women to the game, then I would bump it up the list, but I'll just stay at very hyped instead of super hyped for now. Number 3, Persona 3 Reload. The earliest release of the games I'm looking forward to in 2024 belongs to Persona 3 Reload, the remake of the original Persona 3. Having just recently played through Persona 3 Portable last year, there is so much in Reload that is getting me hyped to see, from moments I experienced in my run to ones that I'm really looking forward to seeing in 3D. Persona 3 is a great game, but there are certainly elements that don't hold up to the modern Persona experience, and so Reload is a perfect opportunity for many to experience it for themselves in a more accessible way. You'll hear more from me in detail about Persona 3 Reload in the future, from talking about the recast voice actors to the various quality of life improvements. Suffice to say, the remake looks great, sounds great, and hopefully plays great. There is still intrigue though as well on how faithful a remake this game is going to be, and I'll admit that if it is just a one-to-one retelling of the game, my interest may not be as high. The reason my hype is up, then, is because I'm not sure it is a one-to-one retelling. For more information on this, please check out my friend Lady Virgilia's Reload Theory videos. We could be in for a wild ride. Persona 3 Reload also lacks some elements, possibly for good reason, that Fez and Portable had that would have been great to see return. None of that kills my hype, but it leads to more uncertainty on how this particular title is going to come out. Oh, and then there's that $70 price tag, things that the top two titles on my list do not have to deal with. Number 2, Trails Through Daybreak. I am never not hyped for Trails, and this is a particularly special title. The start of a new arc, which always brings with it new characters, new mysteries, and much more to explore and enjoy. I've always been partial to the opening games of the Trails arcs, and I really hope Daybreak can keep that trend going. Then on top of that, we have the new hybrid action and turn-based battle system that has a chance to spice up the gameplay. It'll take some adjustment, but I'm looking forward to experiencing it for myself. We've been getting teased on Calvard as a nation for a while now, and we'll get our chance to see it in depth. This is the first game fully produced on the new Falcom engine as well, so the visuals have an upgrade, and hopefully PH3 Games can find a way to make them even better with their porting wizardry. Van as a protagonist promises a breath of fresh air from our recent lovable good boys. Finally, plenty of people I know who have played Daybreak in Japanese have told me this game takes a different tone and style from Cold Steel. I loved Cold Steel, but has numerous storytelling issues that I really hope the Calvard arc, starting with Daybreak, can avoid. The Trails series will always benefit from the progression of time as older characters mature and develop and new characters are brought into the fold of the cast and world. We haven't had an occasion to do that properly in many years, so there is no way I could not be hyped for Trails Through Daybreak. And yet, preposterous as it sounds, Daybreak isn't my most hyped game of this year. It's not because I somehow like the Trails series less, it's not because I'm worried about anything Daybreak has to offer, it is entirely due to just how amazing this next game looks. My number 1 most anticipated game of 2024 is Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. There's a feeling I get in the lead up to some games' releases. A feeling that this journey is going to be an epic one. A game that is going to be one of those special games that persist in your mind long after playing. The last time a game evoked that feeling in me was when I was watching the deep dive into Xenoblade Chronicles 3 prior to its release. If you've heard me talk at all about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 since completing it, you'll know that to be in the same conversation as that instant classic is a great sign. Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes evokes that feeling. The feeling of more than excitement, more than anticipation, the feeling of witnessing something special in the making. I have been following this game closely since I backed it several years ago, and I've been excited about the progress, but it was only once I saw it in action and heard the music and voice acting behind it that pushed it up this high. There is no game coming out this year that I am anticipating more than Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Take all the great things people have said about Suikoden and how it fits exactly what I look for in games, and then put that in an updated, beautiful visual style and not associated with Konami anymore? Give me the returning series creator and other masterful designers and the like. Show me that my time spent with Eiyuden Chronicle Rising has given me a good start on the story and characters of the land. Game modes, mini-games, a main hub. This game is already packed with so much in it and a true love for the genre and style of game they wanted to create. I think not only does this game have the potential to be something special, but also that if it does live up to the insane levels of hype it is generating, that this could be a generationally defining RPG. Can you imagine a Kickstarter game created as a spiritual successor to a series by an original series creator coming out in the same year as a remaster of the original games that outdoes all the other games of that year? We could see a shift in how games are made and thought of moving forward. I think it's a real possibility, especially with things looking so great on the gameplay side of things. I hope the story and characters live up to that same promise. It also helps in edging Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes over Trails Through Daybreak that it is coming out first, and that as a backer I'll get my hands on it a little earlier still. This game is why I love this medium, and I really hope it succeeds both for my own desires when it comes to playing fantastic games, and to show some out-of-touch executives what this industry is really supposed to be about. These reasons, and more, are why Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes is my most anticipated game of 2024, a year with a lot of promise already on the gaming front. Thank you for giving my video a watch. Hopefully you get something from the video, whether that's other games for you to be excited about or reinforcement of your own excitement. I'm happy to provide either, and I would be very grateful if, in return, you would provide your likes and your thoughts on the video and games that you are excited for in 2024, whether that's new games like these or older ones you'll be going back to. On that front, I did recently get Zwei the Arg's Adventure, Nier Automata, and The Outer Worlds, so I have some older games to tide me over before the first big new release. Subscribe to get yourself in early on all of my 2024 videos, quite a few of which will likely be about these games, and let's start off the year well. Have a great day, and happy gaming.